So speaking of release dates, Tenet looks to possibly keep its release date, and how everything is turning out. I mean, honestly, we still don't know. But sources claim to Variety that the fate of Tenet's box office release will be decided within a week, and if so, if it still comes out on its release date, which is July 19th, that they can start preparation. They can start preparations by the theaters and the studios and get the marketing rolling before the movie comes out, so they can spread awareness. And with that, theaters are really hoping that they can have their theaters open by July, with both Tenet and Mulan playing in the same month, that it could kind of like boost sales and get things back in order and everything else. But with social distancing still gonna be in effect, and like not really having like too many theaters having packed houses, it's still going to affect the box office. So that's going to affect whether these movies are still going to come out within that month, and just looking how things is going to go coming toward that time. As well as New York and LA are further behind than most states with their reopening procedures, and that right there can play a major factor in how a movie, any movie, does at the box office, with those major cities being major money makers when it comes to people going to the theaters and spending their money. And also WB has came out and said that they hope that Tenet can make $1 billion, which, given regular circumstances, probably, but given everything that's going around it, it's more than likely not going to do it. As it's coming closer to July, it's looking like the release date is going to get changed for Tenet as well as Mulan, because you got to think, even if theaters were to say reopen in June and they can start the preparations for it, you're still going to have people hesitant to go back to the theaters. And then even those people that are going to go back to the theaters, whether they wear the face mask, bring the sanitizer with them, or, have theaters probably going to have sanitizer in there so they can just, whatever, sanitize their hands and everything else. It's like you're still going to have that separation. You're still going to have that social distancing, where you're not going to be able to buy seats right next to each other if you're like not, buying your tickets together and everything else. That you're still going to have maybe a few seats in between each person. So you're not going to have a packed house. It's going to affect it. So along with like, maybe if LA and New York still haven't really opened up, their theaters like that around that time, or they haven't opened up all of the theaters, then you got the social distancing thing that's with the seats and all that stuff, and people still hesitant. It's going to put a hold on the box office for any movie. It don't matter what type of big movie it is, because for one, you have people that are making the choice to not really go to the theaters and want to wait it out and see if things get better. And then you got people that's wanting to go to the theaters, but too many can't fit into a auditorium, so it's going to make less money each screening all across America and beyond. So when it comes down to it, it's looking closer and closer to it being lifted from its release date, as well as any other movie that's in July and probably put to a later date. In which I'm looking at it, it's like I probably might lift, if I was WB, I probably might just lift it from its release date, and basically put it in like November or something like that. I mean, November right now is really crowded, but I'd say maybe October or September or something like that, or maybe even put it to like next year. Because right now it's just all the factors are going against it, that it's not going to make the money that it should make. And it's like, if they're planning for it to make $1 billion, which it more than likely could, it's not going to do that in January or July. It's not going to do that in July, and they need to look at other options. And VOD is not an option, so get that off the table. But just putting it to another release date. But I mean, I am looking forward to this movie. Don't know too much about it. We only had one trailer for it, I believe. Yeah, it was one trailer, and we haven't really heard too much about it. But hopefully they move it to a new release date.